Oh, got to get me in the stream first. Let's go. We got some schedule release stuff to talk about today. The 49ers, at this point, know exactly who they're going to be playing next year. Let's go. Let's go. And you know the vibes. We got to rep. We got to rep the MVP. You know the vibes. So, but I'm really here. Why I'm here. Let's talk about the schedule. Let's talk about the schedule. Am I right? Oh, we're hearing 17-0 already. So drop it in the chat. What's the record? I'm going to leave it up to you guys real quick. What's the record? 13. I see a 13-4. 10 wins max. Ooh. I don't know if I like that. 13-4 from Detail. 11-5. 15-2. 2-5. 12-5. 14-3. I got to get used to now that we got 17 games on the docket. Got to get used to it. Got to get used to it. Me and numbers don't jive well together. 12-5, 14-3. Details guessed like 17 times. Niners all day on YouTube said 12-5, 11-6. No injuries. That's the big one. The big if. What are the injuries looking like? 16-1. Woo! We're going 16-1. Let's go. Stop jinxing it. Let it happen. Yep, us calling out the record prediction. We're going to jinx it. We got that power. Give us the power. Just like Michael Lombardi said, we got the power, right? We got the power to change it all. 17-0. We going to the ship. All right, I'm going to pull the schedule up on YouTube. Obviously, you guys can't see it on Instagram. If you feel like making the migration over to YouTube, go for it. I'm pulling the schedule up on the screen, and we'll look at this. Let's go game by game. What's up, Melvin? Thanks for hopping in. Let's go game by game. We'll talk about what we think. Watching from Bermuda. Let's go, Dubs. Are the rookies still talking? I don't think so. I think that's came to a close. But we'll see. All right, let's take a look at the schedule. So we get the Raiders. I'm a little excited about that. I'll take the Raiders anytime I can get them. So that is going to be the third preseason game. We'll start with the first two. First one's against the Chiefs. Second one is against the Chargers. Third one versus the Raiders. Again, the whole schedule has been pared down from 4 preseason games to only 3. They added an additional regular season game. That's why they're playing 17 games now instead of just 16. But we still get the Raiders. Come on, Raiders. Come on, Raiders. So we get the Raiders week 3. I might have to go to that game just because, for the culture, if they allow us into Levi's, just for fun. But then the real fun gets started. Week 1, the Lions, Jared Goff, that whole offense, they're coming to Levi's Stadium, not to Levi's. We're going to Detroit, and we're going to face off against Jared Goff and the new look Detroit Lions. So they have a good offensive line. I believe Penny Sewell got drafted by them. So we'll see. But I think the matchup that one is going to be really excited to watch is the trenches. It's the trenches. Yep, you guys are saying it. Bosa versus Penny. They have a great center, bookend tackles, and obviously against our defensive line. It's going to be a good matchup. And they're going to want to run the ball. They got Swift. They got Hawkinson. Of course, George Kittle's buddy and pal from Iowa, the tight end. We'll see how it plays out, but I think that's a great matchup for the 49ers. I'm okay going over to Detroit to go pick up that dub. I think that's a win. I think that's one that this team can handle pretty well. Just playing their game, right? Just playing their game. And they're still on the road. After that, they head over to Philly. From Detroit to Philly. And in that game, you're going to get Jalen Hurts. It's going to be his first full season as a starter. From the running back position, they just added Kerryon Johnson. Say what you want about that. I actually, from Detroit, I don't mind that addition. But, they've built up their wide receiver core this year. Again, it's still young. But they're going to be looking to come out with a potent offense. And again, our defense will be ready to match up. I think from a matchup standpoint, just from an offense, Eagles offense standpoint to the 49ers defense standpoint, I think the 49ers tip the scales in that regard. It's just an inexperienced offense. So it's going to be really interesting to see how that team, just as in general, comes out. But we'll see. Should be another dub. Yep, Detroit Lions, we got you week 1. Gonna be a dub. Easy one. Not just playing. And then week 3, the first real game at Levi's Stadium since the NFC Championship game against, guess who? The Green Bay Packers. So this is going to be an exciting game. It's going to be the first primetime game of the year. There's going to be five primetime games throughout the entire season. That's, I believe, the max that any team can get. And that's pretty good for us. You guys remember 2018? we had 5 primetime games, and I think we got flexed out of almost all of them. It was 2018 was a tough year. So this year, we're looking to hold on to all those primetime picks. We don't want those to go anywhere. So we got to come out strong as a team, rattle off a couple dubs, stay in primetime, baby, stay in primetime. And then after that, Seattle comes to town. So we got two games on the road to start the season, and then the team circles back. And then we have 2 games at home against Green Bay and Seattle. Again, against Seattle, it's anyone's bet. Russell Wilson's still there, so we'll see what happens. Because honestly, with him as a quarterback, anything can happen. So I'll never count out Seattle as long as he's the quarterback of that team. But that doesn't mean the 49ers don't match up well. I think from everywhere else, from a matchup standpoint, they're in a good spot to go out and get that dub against Seattle. Again, just playing sound football, doing all that kind of stuff. And then we travel. We're on the road again. We go to Arizona. And then we face Kyler Murray, Cliff Kingsbury for the first time. They've added some good pieces to that defense. They added Zaven Collins in the first round. They added a couple other guys. And they got Rondale Moore on offense. I think this offseason, Arizona got better. So that is going to be a matchup that I'm really interested in seeing and seeing how that plays out, because I do think Arizona got better than what they were from last year. And then this is where we head into week 6, right? Week 6, got the bye. Another early bye. I'm not the biggest fan of where the bye is, just because it's a longer season. It's 18 weeks now. I'm not the biggest fan of having the bye early, but it is what it is. The team will work its way through it. And it actually helped us a little bit. That one year, I think we had the bye week 4. Bosa was hurt, gave Bosa extra week to get back. So it can have its benefits, but I would just prefer to have it either in the middle or towards the end, just to get ready for the playoff push, because from here on out, it's a grind. It's a grind. And then, so after the bye, the 49ers head over to Indianapolis to play the Colts. You now have Carson Wentz leading that offense. I like Phillip Rivers a lot, and I like what Phillip Rivers did in that offense, but I could also see an opportunity where Wentz elevates that offense, especially being reunited with his old offensive coordinator when he was in Philly. They got a great offensive line, Jonathan Taylor at running back, Hilton's still there, Pittman's coming up. They have good weapons. And they have a sneaky good defense. So I think that's going to be a really good matchup. I really think that's going to be a hard-fought battle. It'll be interesting to see who comes out on top, but it is a primetime game. Our second Sunday night football of the game. I think that's going to be a good matchup. I think that's going to be a great primetime game. It's going to get a lot of people excited. And I think it's going to be a back and forth based on looking at the two rosters on paper. And then the Rookie Bowl in Week 8. So in Week 8, the 49ers travel to Chicago. And as we know, Chicago took Justin Fields at pick 11. The 49ers took Trey Lance at pick 3. That was the big debate amongst the community. Trey Lance, Justin Fields. And of course, we see how it plays out. Now we're going to have an opportunity to see it all play out in person. And I think that's a good Week 8. I would say even if both rookies don't start the year, right? Like, let's say the veterans all start the year for both teams. I think there's a good opportunity where that's around the time that if the veterans aren't playing well, we could see the rookies, or the rookies could just flat out win starting Week 1. We'll find out, but that's the benefit of having preseason this year and not having it last year, is we'll be able to get to see and evaluate them with real bullets, live reps in preseason that will help determine who's going to be Week 1 starter. So a little bit different than last year. We're actually going to have the opportunity to evaluate these guys to see if they're ready to start Week 1, rather than just hoping and praying that they're ready to start Week 1. So we'll see how that all plays out. But obviously the big storyline going into Week 8 is going to be Fields versus Trey. If they're on the field and they're starting, that's going to be a fun game. And it's on Halloween too. So the Halloween festivities will be lively against Chicago. And again, I think they can be a good team. I think Chicago can be a really good team as long as they get good quarterback play. They've got Montgomery. They got A-Rob. They've got Cole Kmet. They have a decent offensive line. Their offense is primed, ready to go. Their defense is shaky, though. Their defense is shaky. They got rid of a lot of good players. So that might be the difference maker, which would probably have me leaning towards a pretty convincing win by the 49ers, based on the 49ers being a full-blown three-phase team, whereas I think Chicago still has a ways to go. Then you go to Week 9. We see Arizona for our second time. And that is going to, again, I'm very interested about the division. I think the division is going to be strong. So I think that the pathway through to the playoffs is through our division. 49ers take care of the division. They take care of their shot at the playoffs. Now, and then you've got back-to-back division games, Week 9 and Week 10. You go from Cardinals to Rams. Based on both those games being at home, based on how the 49ers have been playing both of these two teams as of late, I feel like there's a really good opportunity for the 49ers to come away with the W. Again, I think that the Cardinals got better this year, and I think the Rams got better this year. Of course, they add Matt Stafford. They add Tutu Atwell in the second round, another receiving weapon for Stafford. Cam Akers came on late and proved to be a pretty solid running back for that team. It's just how are they gonna, build up through the trenches? How's their offensive line gonna look? How's their defensive line gonna look? And how is that gonna affect play on both sides of the ball? You never know. So, but they clearly got better at the most important position, which is the quarterback position. So you go from Goff to Stafford. So that's a big upgrade. It's a big upgrade. But again, this is team ball. It's team ball, and we got to see how everyone else performs. So we'll get a good idea really quickly of what that team looks like before we even face off against them week 10. So the 49ers will have a good idea of what they're facing off of based on all the tape and everything that they have. But that is their game against the Rams week 10. That will be prime time. That's going to be a fun one. I might have to catch that game at Levi's. I love how the 49ers play the Rams. Always a lot of fun to see those teams face off. Then the 49ers are back on the road again. They go to the Jags. We're going to see Trevor Lawrence, Travis Etienne. We're going to see all these high-profile rookies. We're going to see the Trent bulky built Jacksonville Jags with Tim Tebow catching passes from Trevor Lawrence. It's going to be a sight to behold. They still got James Robinson. Had an amazing year at running back as an undrafted free agent. They still got DJ Chark out there. They still got tons of weapons on that team, and they kind of retooled that defense. We'll see what the Jags are. We don't know exactly yet what the Jags are, but I like the firepower that they're coming with. And then week 12, 49ers face off at home against the Vikings. I mean, it's Kirk Cousins, right? If he dies, he dies. As he famously said, likely when he plays against the 49ers, it doesn't go well. It really doesn't go well. We're doing big meetups. If we're going to games, we'll meet up for sure. But when it comes to the Vikings, again, they drafted Darisaw. They got some protection for Kirk Cousins. They already have the weapons, Dalvin Cook, Justin Jefferson. But we'll see, man. We'll see. Been a little spotty on defense. I know they added a couple pieces through the draft on defense, but we'll see. I don't lose a ton of confidence when it comes to playing Kirk Cousins. I feel like Kyle has a really good feel for him, and as a result is able to scheme against him pretty well. And then week 13, 49ers head up to Seattle, a primetime game. Ooh, I might want to go to that game. Now I think about it. I want to go to a Seattle game in Seattle. I think that atmosphere would be electric. It really would be a lot, and especially being a primetime game. I might have to circle that one in. I might have to circle that primetime game. We might have to get a whole crew. To head up to Seattle December 5th and just rock it out, because we got to head to enemy territory and we got to go get that dub in Seattle. It's going to be cold, man. I'm with it. I can bundle up. I'm a big guy. I run hot. It works great for me. I love the elements. Stick me in the snow any day of the week. I'm chilling. But if we're going on the road, we might have to do an invasion to Seattle. I'm serious. We might have to go to Seattle, especially this late in the year. It's week 13. That means playoff picture is going to be in place. That means we're going to have a really good, solid idea of what the division looks like, because we would already have played 4 division games up until that point. So that Seattle game is going to be a big one. and I want to get to Seattle. I think that would be a lot of fun. So we all might need to plan something and get that going, because I wouldn't mind heading up to enemy territory and catching a game at the Clink or whatever the hell they call it. I don't even know what it's called. And then week 14, they go from Seattle to Ohio to go see the Cincinnati Bengals, Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Joe Mixon, Tyler Boyd, who I think they drafted a running back. I forget who they drafted off the top of my head, but they quietly got a good offense. They quietly got a good offense over there in Bengals land. Second-year head coach who came on pretty well, and considering the circumstances. So that could be, I don't know. I'm not sweating it. That could be a trap game, though, especially off the back of going to Seattle in prime time. We understand how much energy and just mental fortitude you need to have to go up to Seattle and win in prime time. That's a lot. So Bengals could be a trap game. It's set up perfectly to be a trap game. 10 a.m. Central Time. That's set up perfectly to be a trap game. So just got to be careful with those kinds of situations. Hopefully it's not a trap game and the 49ers can pull out the dub at Cincinnati. But that looking at the whole schedule, that looks like the trappiest of all trap games. And there's going to be at least 1, 2 to 3 trap games. We always got to be on the lookout for. Remember, 2019, we were supposed to beat Atlanta. Atlanta wasn't doing nothing, and they came in and they beat us in the last second. Perfect example of a trap game. They had a really hard time getting their energy up to speed to play that game. They talked about it, and they got trapped. But then, perfect transition, week 15, Atlanta Falcons come to the 49ers. I just hope that Julio Jones will be playing in that game, but he'll be playing for the 49ers. We'll see, though. And if that's the case, then there's no way Atlanta's coming out with the dub. Atlanta added some pieces. Of course, they have the weapons. They added Kyle Pitts. But they also picked, 4th overall last year with the same weapons, essentially. So we'll see. I believe they have a new coach, new system. We'll see how that plays out. But Falcons at home, week 15. This is week 16. I really wanted to get to because it'd be a lot of fun to get to Tennessee and go to a game. But it's on the 23rd. Me and a couple buddies, we tentatively started planning our trip to Tennessee, and then we're like, wait a second. That's on the 23rd. We wavered. I think we're pivoting. Too close to Christmas. Too much going on. But it is another primetime game. Week 16 against the Titans. Titans are probably going to be gearing up for a playoff push. 49ers are hopefully going to be gearing up for a playoff push. That should be a battle. It's a Thursday night football game, so it could go any which way. Don't know. We'll find out when it comes, but that will be a good matchup with plenty of prime weapons. Their defense got a lot better in the Tennessee Titans, and they already had a strong offense. So that's going to be a fun matchup. And then week 17 versus the Texans. Who knows? We don't know who the quarterback is. Could be Deshaun. Could be Davis Mills. Could be Tyrod Taylor. We have no idea who the quarterback is going to be for the Texans based on all the offseason shenanigans and all of the bad vibes surrounding the team. It's too hard to predict at this point. But the vibes right now are telling me that should be a 49er W, especially based on all the pieces that they've lost, all the drama they've gone through, new regime change across the board. Should be a dub. But again, now who's quarterback? Never know. If it's Deshaun, again, same situation like Russ. If Deshaun's a quarterback, you just never know, because those types of players can put you in a position to win always. So we'll find out. And then we wrap up the season schedule. Week 18, the first time that we'll be playing into week 18, which is great for fans, great for lovers of fantasy football. It extends playoffs and championships out another week. We just get more football to consume. Don't know if the players love it, but if we're talking just purely from a fan's perspective, we absolutely love any more football that we can get. So January 9th, the 49ers wrap their season at the LA Rams. So that would be another interesting game to go to if the division's on the line. And of course, it's a brand new stadium, so I wouldn't be opposed to going and checking out the new stadium. And especially if the division on the line, and we're talking about playoff seeding and all those different types of things going into the last week of the year, that would be a lot of fun. So I don't know. But and now taking a kind of step back, looking at the schedule, looking at the early portion, kind of the middle and the end, it really doesn't seem like that difficult of a schedule at first glance. Again, the main teams I'm looking at are in division. I want to sweep Seattle. I want to sweep the Cardinals, and I want to sweep the Rams. If the 49ers can do that, they're in the driver's seat at that point. Any of these other teams, Green Bay will be, of course, a good matchup. The Tennessee game will likely be a good matchup. The Minnesota Viking game could be a good matchup. We'll see. We know what happened last time we played them and they showed up at Levi's. It was kind of a snoozer. I believe Jimmy Garoppolo only passed the ball 8 times and just ran it down their throat essentially the entire time. I think that the sneaky good game is the Indianapolis Colts game. I think that's the sneaky good game that one I might try and get to too. That one's at Levi's. That's a Sunday. It's a primetime game. A lot of people have been hating on Wentz. Don't hate on Wentz, especially when he lands in a new spot with his old offensive coordinator, which is now the head coach. They traded for him. I think he's in a good situation, and we could very well see that Wentz that was on an MVP tear before he literally tore his ACL. So I think that game's a sneaky one. I really think that's a sneaky one. Other than that, the Bengals looks like the prime trap game. Again, you got to be careful. Always on the backs of playing Seattle at Seattle in prime time, and then going and traveling to Cincinnati for a 10 a.m. start. Just feels like that trap life is right there waiting. And then, of course, the Tennessee Titan game. Who shows up for that Thursday night football game? Who knows? It's at Tennessee, so we'll see how that affects everything. But yeah, overall, looking at the schedule, not terrified by it. I think in 2019, that back end stretch of the schedule was daunting, and we kind of saw that up front. We saw that first, and I think that caused, and it proved to be one of the toughest schedules. I think I can't remember. I don't want to speak out of turn, but there was some significant value to those 3 or 4 game stretches that the 49ers finished in 2019, of how difficult it was. And they came out on top and obviously walked in to the playoffs. Focus says 12-5. He's feeling good. I think that's appropriate. 12-5. Again, but the biggest thing I'm worried about and care about is the division. I just want to win the division. I want to come out on top with seeding. That's what I want. I think the 49ers can handle everyone else. Yeah, Focus said it. So Focus, back to the conversation about the 2019 schedule. It was the third. It was the hardest 3-game stretch in NFL history. It was a tough stretch. I don't see anything like that. I don't see that same setup. It seems pretty spread out. I believe I saw a stat where we actually have the easiest schedule. Again, I don't know how you determine those things because they're brand new teams. You have brand new coaches. You have brand new players. But I believe it's based on last year's metrics. So based on last year's metrics, I believe the 49ers have the easiest strength of schedule. I'll take it. We remember what 2019 was like. That was tough. This one seems extremely manageable. I like the way that the division games are spread out. So I like the schedule, man. I feel like the 49ers are set up now, just again, purely on paper, which means honestly nothing, but purely on paper, they're set up really, really well to make their way through this schedule and hit double-digit wins. Even with the rookie, I believe that. Depending on Jimmy starting, which again is going to be the question, right? But whether it's Jimmy, whether it's Trey, I think this team, with who they have on the roster, the way the offensive line is built, the way they've added to the running back room, the wide receivers, and they're still working. And then the D-line, linebackers, defensive backs, the way everything has come together so far, I feel like this team has the depth. I feel like they have a really good opportunity to dive into the schedule head first and really come out on top. But I like it. I like it in Goff. I like it in Goff first. I think that will be great for our defense to start off with what we kind of talk about when we're talking about quarterbacks, is like a statuesque type guy. We'll start out. Let's get the defense keyed up, get the defense hyped up, get them all ready, get them all prepared, get them all juiced up to go after Goff. Goff ain't escaping the pocket. Goff ain't making proper reads if he's under pressure. I think it's a good opening game. You know, even though they are away at Detroit, I think it's a good setup. It's a new staff, I believe, for Detroit, as well as a new quarterback, second-year running back, second-year tight end. They don't have Kenny Golladay anymore. They don't have Marvin Jones anymore. It's going to be a new team. So I expect there to be speed bumps that come along with that. And the Bosa Sewell matchup, I love it because Penny is a dog in the run game. He's Quentin Elson-esque in the run game, but he does struggle in pass protection. His pass protection technique isn't the prettiest. He tends to bend at the hips a little bit. He tends to lunge, which then translates into getting beat by technically gifted edge rushers like Bosa. So I'm excited to see, and it might be, I believe, Decker is on the other side, who is a good tackle in his own right. But I think that matchup is going to Bosa, is going to Sosa, is going to whoever they roll out there. If D Ford comes back, let's go. Like, Again, I love Penne. I love him a lot. He's a really good run blocker. Like elite run blocker, but not elite at pass blocking. So serviceable, more than serviceable at pass blocking. Just not elite at pass blocking like he is at the run game. Yeah, their center just got paid. They're paid. Yeah, Ragnow got paid. Highest paid center in the league. So I like it. I like the setup. I think that's a great first game. Great first game. Just steamroll. We're going to bite Dan Campbell's kneecaps off. That's what we're going to do. We're going to go to Detroit. We're going to steal their hubcaps and their kneecaps. They're coming home with us. I love the energy. I love the soundbite from the rookie head coach. But we're coming to bite your kneecaps off. We're coming to take your hubcaps too. Hide your kids, hide your wives, hide your kneecaps. 49ers are coming. So I think that's going to be a good first one. And again, kind of back to Philly. So unproven. So young as a team. They're in that weird transition from having that Super Bowl roster to essentially gutting that and building young guys on top of it. They're not ready. So the team could come out 2 wins like that. Bang. 2-0. Leading into Sunday Night Football. So it's gonna be a fun year, man. Yes, we need to treat Green Bay back like they got us good, man. Green Bay put us in our place real quick last year. So would love to see that. Would love to see that. Would love to see love. Would love to see love. Not Aaron Rodgers. Send Aaron Rodgers to the Broncos. Get him in the AFC. Broncos aren't on our schedule. Give me Jordan Love all day. Yep, there it is. Jordan Love all day. Oh my goodness. If the Green Bay Packers trade Aaron Rodgers, they just take out the Green Bay Packers are going to be one of our biggest threats getting back to the NFC Championship, getting back to the Super Bowl, if that's how far we take it. Green Bay is standing in our way. Green Bay is right there. We saw they whooped on us last year when we were down and out. Now, I'm just saying, if they get rid of Aaron Rodgers, that helps us so much. That helps us so much in regards to, because I don't think Jordan Love is ready. I don't think Jordan Love is ready to come in and play at the same level of Aaron Rodgers, even if Jordan Love is good, right? Even if Jordan Love is worthy of the first round selection, he's still not going to play up to that same level of Aaron Rodgers, at least for a couple of years, unless he comes out and he's like, hey, I'm Patrick Mahomes. I've just been sitting on the roster waiting for my opportunity. But I don't see that happening. I mean, Jordan Love's a good quarterback, at least when he was coming out of Utah State, I believe it was. And he looked to have a good arm, had good mobility within the pocket, all those kinds of things that I think lent to the Green Bay Packers to draft Love. But I'm not his first year, man. Not in his first year. So, will Rosen get the chance to play this season? Well, he's got to make the roster first. Rosen's got to make the roster first. He didn't sniff the field last year when the 49ers were, talking about Juszczyk being the quarterback. They signed him as a result of not having a healthy quarterback. But will Rosen get the chance to play this season? I would say the only way Rosen gets a chance to play this season is if the team is down and out in regards to injury. That means the rookie's hurt. That means Jimmy is on the team or traded or hurt. They got Sudfeld. They paid Sudfeld a decent amount to bring him over from Philly. So does Rosen get the chance to play this season? I would say it's slim to none in regards to the chances that he plays. Now, of course, there's always an opportunity, especially if he's on the roster, but he would have to have a ton of things go wrong for the 49ers for him to get an opportunity. And if Rosen's playing at that point, I don't think that's a season that we want to be watching or hoping for, because that would not be fun. That would not be fun. Did he play? Did Rosen play and I just completely blanked it from my memory? I don't know. He could have. Maybe I just completely wiped that season from my memory. Could have happened. And now, just like King Phil says, why is football so far away? We got tons of time now to talk about it. We got tons of time to do all kinds of stuff. If it's Rosen week 9 against the Cards, I'm selling my tickets. I don't blame you. You're probably going to lose money on those bad boys, though. What's our hardest week? I would say our hardest week at this point is week 13 at Seattle, Sunday Night Football. The entire nation's eyes are going to be on this team. If the rookie is starting, it's going to be his first time in Seattle. And say what you want. We like to talk our talk about Seattle, but Seattle comes with it. They come with the noise. And they have a vibe and an energy that makes it really difficult to play there. Now, I believe CJ Beathard went into Seattle. I'm trying to remember last year as best I can and got a dub. But it's 2020. It's a weird year. There's no fans in the stands. None of that kind of stuff. It was just pumped in crowd noise instead of fans plus pumped in crowd noise. Had to get that in there. But I think that the Seattle game at Seattle on prime time is going to be a tricky one, as well as the Thursday night football game against the Titans. I think that's going to be a tough one. Focus is saying week 13, 16, 18, which is Seattle, Tennessee, Rams. I agree. Again, like I said, I think it's the one that stands out to me the most is at Seattle, Sunday Night Football. It's the first week 13. So it's going to be a lot of hype going into that game. A lot of hype, especially if the 49ers are doing well, especially if Seattle's doing well. It's going to be a playoff primer. There's going to be a lot of talk about, potentially Russell Wilson versus Trey Lance, the passing of the guard from old Russ now to the new hype and Trey. Like, it's going to be a storyline, and there's going to be a lot of pressure that comes along with that. If the rookie is going into that game starting, we're going to find out what the boy's made of, because Seattle hits a little different. But I did talk about, I really like the Colts matchup. I think that's going to be a tough game. I do. I think that they're built well on defense and offense. I think they're slept on in regards to offense. So basically week 13, week 7, week 3, depending on who's at quarterback, could honestly be Jordan Love. So if it's Jordan Love at that point, I'm not feeling as, worried about it. But yeah, I mean, Colts are stacked on all 3 levels of their defense. Of course, stout up front with Defoe, Darius Leonard in the middle. They've got underrated defensive backs. So they're going to come to play. And it's it's at home, so that's good. They're going to have to travel to us. But that could be a fun one. I think the funnest one, the one that I want to see the most, is I want to see this one. I want to see Trey versus Fields. I want to see that, man. I'm rocking you asked what jersey I'm wearing. I'm rocking the City Curry, the City MVP boy. We're rocking City MVP. How to do it for the Bay. Do I think the Colts will make the playoffs this year? I think the Colts have every opportunity to make the playoffs this year. I think the Colts are ready. Oh, Raheem wants Green Bay. We need to get that Green Bay matchup going, because last time Green Bay came to the Bay, this boy named Heem went ham. 4 tutties. So let's bring that vibe back. So, oh my goodness. We want to see Heem go off this year. I know my boy's hungry. I know he's hungry, and I'm hyped for it. I can't wait. And so, Mostert wants Green Bay. Would love to see that, man. Would love to see that, because we know what happens when the 49ers are playing good quality football. Let's go. We know you're excited. But yeah, let's go. He's hungry. I know he is. I know my guy's ready. He's chomping at the bit. He said, "Give me my pads now." Wait, rookie minicamp is coming up in a couple days. He's like, "Give me pads. Pretend I'm a rookie. I'm ready to go hit." I guarantee you that's how Mostert's vibe is right now. My guy's, he's coming for blood. I know it. And I want it. I want to see it. So we get all that stuff going in the right direction. Honestly, the schedule's set up nice. It's set up nice. There's decent peaks and valleys based on perceived strength of schedule, things like that. I mean, from my perspective, like I talked about it earlier, maybe he wants to chime in. Having a week 6 bye, we talked about it a little bit before, just like in the parallels, I think with the 2019 season, I think it was a bye week in week 4. And you're like, meh, kind of wish we got that bye like kind of in the middle, maybe more towards the end. At least that's my perception. trying to put my head in the shoes of these guys is, just trying to figure out how they're thinking about this. I don't know. Maybe the week 6 bye works out okay because that allows you to get 5 games in, reset, and then it's off to the races to try and go that 6th because we want that 6th. The team's built. They're ready. They're loaded. Oh. So Mostert said that week 4 bye wasn't the best, but it was worth it. And we talked about that. I think going into that bye, I believe Bosa was injured a little bit. We had a couple other guys a little dinged up. So it actually worked in our benefit that particular year. But if you could choose, I think you'd want it more in the middle or towards the end, especially to help kind of revamp. Yeah, Raheem said it. We went to the Super Bowl that year. So it couldn't have been too bad, right? Couldn't have been too bad. Again, I think it's just more of a preference than anything else. Would we like to see it more in the middle to, again, just put the logic or the thought process? Oh, there we go. That's what we want. So Raheem Mostert says week 6 is perfect. I like that. So that is great insight. So again, we were talking about week 4 bye. Wasn't the best, but was needed. Week 6 though, perfect. I like it. All right. So Mostert's vibing off the bye week 6. I can vibe off it too. I mean, that's Mostert, boys. That's Mostert. So week 6, I can vibe off that, especially if my guy Heem's vibing off that. So, and again, I keep talking about that matchup against the Colts. Super excited about that one. Again, we see Defoe again. We know Defoe well, right? We know Defoe well. Darius Leonard right behind him. Colts got a squad, man. But all comes down to that division again. Raheem saying there'll be a little bit of a break, but still get the quality games. And that's what we want at the end of the day. The Thursday night football game doesn't come until the end of the year, right before Christmas. Actually, it might be kind of nice for the players, too. Again, you got the game on the 23rd. You're back home. Christmas Eve, get to spend Christmas with the fam, kind of recharge. And then right on the other side of the new year, you got 2 games left. Get ready to rock. So, man, I'm excited. I'm ready to get to some football. Oh, I'm ready to get some football. I'm ready to get this rookie mini camp going. I'm ready to see some actual football plays being played. That's what I want. So, I'm ready, man. I can't wait. I'm trying to think again. Again, it's division for me. Division's A1. Take care of the division. We sweep the division. I'm hyped because, one, obviously, guaranteed punching your ticket to the playoffs plus seeding. I love it. And unlimited trash talking to the other fan bases. But I don't anticipate that's what it's going to be like. I don't anticipate that we're going to sweep the division. Division games are always different. Division games are always played at a different level. So will be interesting. We got a new character in the division in Stafford. He's going to be an interesting piece to see how that whole dynamic shifts. What does McVay do now with Stafford? Does he really elevate the offense? Obviously, Stafford is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL and can make every single throw imaginable. Is one of the toughest competitors in the league. So you'd imagine he'd make that team better. So we'll see. But again, I just want to win the division. I want to win the division. If we can sweep the division, again, that's asking a lot. It's asking a lot. But make me very happy. Make me very happy. Trying to think. Jacksonville could be something. Could be. Not. Probably not, though. Yeah, I picked Cincinnati Bengals Week 14 as the definite trap game. That's the trap game for sure, in my opinion. Coming off Sunday Night Football at Seattle and then going to Cincy, playing the early 10 a.m. games. That just feels like a trap. It's a trap. Feels like a trap. So Cincy's my trap game. Keys to victory, sweep the division, or at least come up sweeping, win the division. How about that? Win the division. Win the division. First seed in the NFC West. Win the division. Hopefully beat Green Bay for seeding purposes. Yeah. I like it though. I like it. On paper, feels very manageable. Feels manageable. Feels right. The vibe. We do a lot of things off vibe here. We're just kind of like we like to feel the energy. I like the energy from the schedule. It's not like, and we talked about it again, kind of going in circles a little bit. That 2019 schedule, that was a tough schedule. That was a really tough schedule. Really tough schedule. And we knew it early. We knew it in the middle of it. And we knew it going down the stretch how tough it was. And it just got tougher. That can always occur here. But based on everything, it looks really manageable. And again, I like the first half. I like the middle. And I like the end. I think it's a really balanced schedule on paper. So let's do it. If we can sweep, bring out the brooms, please. Please sweep the West. Please. So that would be my ambitions for the season. And hopefully we get it figured out. But I'm just hyped for camp, man. And I'll be honest, like this is me putting my honesty hat on. I can't stand predictions. I can't stand schedule predictions. I'm going to do one. I can't stand them because it's too many unknowns. Way too many unknowns. Way too many unknowns. Football is there's way too many moving parts in the game of football for these predictions to be made at this time for them to matter. They don't matter. Doesn't matter at all. But it's prediction season because we have nothing else to talk about, so that's what we're going to do. So let me try this. I don't know if I want to do that. What do you think of the injuries we had last season? I think they were awful. I think they were a pain in our butts. I think they were freak. Felt like they were just weird. It was weird more than anything. I felt like it was weird more than anything. Again, like even going back to the injuries with Solly and Bosa back to back, that it was just weird. It was just weird because the 49ers could have got off the field on a third down and it came down to a scramble play, and it was just like a weird vibe when that happened. I remember, and just for whatever reason, like it was a 3rd and long. They had the quarterback dead to rights and Sam Darnold. Should have been a sack. Turned into a 1st down. And it just like the sequence of that situation, like it felt like, oh, that didn't feel right. Like it felt like we should have got him and we should have got off the field. And we didn't. And we had him and we could have. But we didn't make the play. And then, bang, literally 2 snaps in a row. Bang, bang. And gosh, just freak. Like, how do you quantify that? How do you quantify a situation where you could have been off the field? Like, you could have stopped them on the 3rd down, and you could have been off the field, and you should have been off the field, but you didn't make the play, and as a result, bang, bang, 2 catastrophic injuries back to back. Like, that's just freak. That's just freak. It's just, you can't, how do you quantify that? How do you quantify that? And that to me reminds me of what last year was. It was just a freak show when it came to injuries. So, yeah. Oh, thank you, Jay. Thank you. Had to rep my Curry today. Had to rep my Curry, my MVP, the only MVP Curry. Put some respect on that man's name. But yeah, overall, good schedule. I like it. I think there's a very good opportunity to be very competitive next year. Like I said, with a rookie or with Jimmy. Either one. I think they can both be competitive based on the roster construction, based on Kyle Shanahan, of course, right? The defense can get back to form. We start getting after the passer. We start getting off the field on those 3rd downs. I think a whole lot can change. And can change with the rookie or Jimmy. Don't matter. Oh, let the people who want to slander Curry go for it. Because there's the old saying, people show you their true intelligence. So just let them say whatever they want. Call him trash, please. Please tell me how unintelligent you are. Hey, I get it. I get it. The Warriors, they rose to the top really quickly. A lot of people didn't like it, couldn't handle it, even though it was done organically, other than, the whole KD fiasco. Honestly, hot take time, basketball time, has nothing to do with 49ers. If I could go back in time, I would never have added KD. I understand who KD is as a player. I understand how good he is. He helped us get a championship. I understand all that. I love him for it. But if I go back in time, I would not bring KD on. Oh my goodness. Hot take time. Hot take basketball time. If I had a traveling time machine, we don't sign KD on that July 4th in the Hamptons and the Hampton Fives and all that crap. Real talk. Same philosophies apply to my team, the 49ers. I like building organically. I'm a big fan of organics. Bring me on organically, man. Explain the reason. So it has less to do with the vibe change, or it has more to do with the vibe change, less to do with the actual play on the court. because obviously with KD on the team, super team, of course. But I liked it so much better when it was I was there when we drafted Steph. I was there when we drafted Clay. I was there when we drafted Dre. And Dre was a second round pick. Like both Curry and Clay weren't the first overall picks. Clay was 11, I believe. Like I loved that. And I loved that rise with Bogut and Iguodala and Livingston and Barbosa. I just love the vibe, the strength in numbers, that whole thing. I vibed off. I loved it. The Bay loved it. And just when it was such a vibe, right? It was such a vibe. And then when KD came on, the whole vibe just changed. It went to, oh, you're overrated. Oh, you got to sign KD to win a championship because we lost the 73-9 season. Like, sorry. I know this is a 49ers channel. They got me going. They got me going on my boys. But to wrap it up, we'll get back to 49ers. To wrap it up, I like the vibe before pre-KD vibes. I like pre-KD vibes so much more. Yeah, I don't know. Yes, focus. That's the next one we're going to talk about. All right. Back to actual football. I could talk. I go in on some Warriors talk right now. I'm not going to lie. You get me all spiced up. Damn. Okay. Mr. Edmondson, he's pulling me back into the Warriors talk. One last thing. Pre-KD, that offense was so pretty. The way they moved the ball, everything, the flow, everything, the defense, everything was beautiful. When they got KD, it was like they had to retrain and relearn and retool and try and, stick a round peg into a square hole. It just felt like it wasn't a natural fit. But of course, it's KD. You just give him the ball and he's a walking bucket. Like, I get it. And he helped us get a championship. I get it. I just loved the organically built trash Warriors that turned into juggernauts before KD. And then just felt like once we signed KD, the Warriors went from the feel-good team to the Patriots. And that whole vibe and just like, bleh. I know, I get it, but I feel like we still would have got him without him. That's the thing, but that's just me. Strength in numbers, ride or die. Okay. I love how Focus finds a way to always bring it back to Lance. Yes, I guess Lance played basketball. Trey Lance shouted out the Santa Clara women's basketball team. Shout out Trey Lance, keeping it local. I guess he got Trey Lance. To get back to football, Trey Lance got a little bit of flack today for wearing a New York Yankees hat, or is it LA? I can't remember. It was either New York and LA cap when he was, talking about Santa Clara or whatever. Some people didn't like that he was wearing a team that wasn't from the Bay. Listen, if George Kittle can get on post press conference call to the media after a game and say, "Go Bears," because that was his team growing up, and he could say, "Go Bears," and mean it, Trey Lance can wear a freaking cap of a different team I don't care. I think George Kittle really set the tone for what that means. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't. It's fun to poke fun at, right? Because we love the Bay. We're super big on the Bay. But I don't care. So Trey Lance can wear whatever hat he wants. I wear whatever hat I want. When it comes to baseball, I would own every single baseball cap if I had the opportunity to. I own a lot. I claim to be an A's fan, but I own almost every single fitted MLB cap that there is. So I don't. Those fitted MLB caps, man, those come with swag. I'm not worried about. That just tells me Trey Lance got the swag, so it's cool. I'm fine with it. Yeah, if he wore a different NFL team, that would be a different story. But outside of that, these guys are cut. Dude, this dude was playing in North Dakota last year. They're going to be fans of other teams. They don't come in and just change their fandom because of the team. Like, I was trying to forget or trying to remember who got drafted, but they were a big time fan of another team. I forget. Am I getting a Trey Lance jersey? I'm thinking about it. Everyone's going to be rocking Trey this year. So this is the thing, though. If you're getting the Trey Lance jersey, or you're buying any jersey for that matter, you gotta wait for the patch. You gotta wait for the diamond. Wait for the diamond. Make it official. Once Trey getting on the field, you don't see him sitting the entire year. I don't see him sitting the entire year either. I really don't. But like I said, open competition in camp. Whoever wins. But you got to hold on to that job too throughout the year. Because honestly, if it's an open competition, I feel like it's going to be a close competition. I really do. Trey Lance can already come in and operate this offense already. I was watching. Jordan and I were watching. We were watching the tape. We were grinding the tape, as they say, late into that wee hours of the night. And we were just in awe of the offense that they ran at North Dakota State. What they did at North Dakota State arguably could be more complicated than what Kyle does with the 49ers. Because he does everything that Kyle does, plus more. And a little crazier even. Like, we're talking about two fullbacks in the I formation with a running back. All kinds of crazy double, triple motions. Everything looks like another play. If it's a run to the right, they're actually running counter left or making it look like it's counter left. And how they operate their offense at North Dakota State is legitimate. And just like Kyle does, like I said, I'm just watching it. All the different formations, all the plays that look like one play but come back the other way. They look like you can run 3 plays off one play. I'm like, this is Kyle's dream. No wonder Kyle is in heaven with Trey Lance, because he already knows how to operate his offense day one. And if anything, I guarantee you Kyle's stealing a couple plays. We were watching it. I'm like, Kyle's got to be taking some of these plays, because I'm serious. Like, North Dakota State, they got their stuff figured out. Like, they aren't run like these Big 10 or Big 12 college teams. Like, they're not spread. They're run first, fullback, 2 fullbacks, 2 tight end. Like, just like Kyle, a lot of motion, a lot of misdirection. Like I said, they're running one play, but it looks like another every single time. And And yeah, and of course, like Focus said, you add the ability to have Trey be a runner, run QB power, play action QB power. I think that's where we're going to see the most trickery is in the red zone. That's what I'm excited for. It's what I was excited for when I talked about Justin Fields. It's the same thing I'm excited for Trey Lance. So Trey Lance is going to be able to operate really well within the scheme. If anything, he'll be able to elevate this scheme. It's not going to be the other way around. I'm really not concerned about Trey learning this offense. Like, the more that I find out about him, the more I watch, the more I understand. Like, okay, it makes sense. I can understand it. Like, it really does. Because what Trey operated at North Dakota State, he knows it already. He knows what you have to do to be able to read the defense properly, call the run play to the right side, then call the protection, then make sure everyone's on the same page in their spot pre-snap. He has the ability to execute post-snap. He shows the ability to make literal all his reads, go through all his progressions. He moves really well within the pocket. I think my favorite thing about Trey Lance is how he executes play action. There's just his hitch when he comes out of play action, it's pretty. It's just pretty. The whole feet to hips to like, it's like he's like, when he hitches, it's like he's a loaded gun, just ready to rip it. And it's beautiful. And I just love the way he executes play action, and that ball is always coming out on point. Now, I would say the areas of improvement based on the tape that I've watched, he could I know he's been working on it because this is one of the questions I asked his QB coach way early in the offseason when he's moving outside the pocket and he has to throw on the run. That just comes down to feet, lower half more than upper half. The upper half is always on point. It was his lower half that would get off a little bit, cause the ball to dive on him. There's a couple instances, but they're really rare. They're really rare. You don't see a ton, at least on the tape that I've watched. I haven't watched all of it. I've watched a couple games. But Trey, that's what I'm saying, man. Like, I think it's going to be an open competition, and I don't think the playbook will be a hindrance like it is for a lot of quarterbacks. Like I think it is for a lot of quarterbacks coming into the NFL, just like it was for Patrick Mahomes coming from Cliff Kingsbury's offense. That is like, it's like the, I don't know, middle school version of Kyle's like doctorate degree offense that he runs. Just completely different styles. And there's so much more that goes into what Kyle is looking to do. You have to be intelligent pre-snap and post-snap. You can't just look at a card and like get your play and run it and just spread everything out. So I think where Trey Lance can be extremely valuable is coming in. He's going to know how to operate this offense, which would be his number one drawback from starting, in my opinion, is his grasp of the offense. But the fact that he will likely be able to pick up this offense very quickly, really well, and have it pretty well under grasp or whatever, heading into the training camp, I think we'll be able to see a true competition, because we're not going to see a rookie trying to learn concepts. You know what I mean? Like, he's actually going to be out there like mastering the concepts, not learning the concepts, mastering them. He's not going to be having to learn how to take a snap under center. Mac Jones only took 10 snaps under center, when you got to stick your hand under the center's butt and they got to snap it to you while the center's moving. You got to get a good clean. You got to make sure that it's a good clean handoff from the center to the quarterback. That's learned. That is learned. There is a reason why every day before practice, me and my quarterback, when I was playing center, would head out 15 to 20 minutes before practice, and all we would do is take under center snaps. That's all we would do. And we just rep that. About 15 minutes before practice. Under center snaps. Because it's got to be second nature. It can't be something you're thinking about. So with guys like Mac Jones going to have to learn how to take a snap under center. Trey Lance had the most snaps under center, I think, by all the quarterbacks combined, the top 5 quarterbacks. So they're just things that I think Trey Lance is further along than a lot of people are going to give him credit for, which means he's going to be able to come in and compete right away. He's going to be able to compete right away with Jimmy rather than coming in and trying to learn. Like I said, he's coming in to master. I guarantee he's already into that playbook. He's probably been at it ever since he was drafted because I guarantee you he knows that that's going to be his biggest hindrance from starting is his mastery of the playbook. So as long as he can grasp what Kyle Shanahan is trying to do, I think there's a really good opportunity. But again, you can't ever count out Jimmy. You can't ever count out, a healthy Jimmy if he's going to, because I imagine if it's a true open competition, he ain't giving that thing up. He ain't going to give it up. He's going to be like, this is my job, Rook. So we'll see. We'll see. But it makes for some fantastic competitions heading into camp and all that kind of stuff. So it's going to be pretty cool. Well, see, that's the thing. So Focus is talking about how Jimmy came in, was traded from the Patriots. They brought him over. He was only in the system for maybe 3 weeks. And then he got his first start, won 5 straight games. I think it was a much simpler version of the offense. I think it was a really pared down version of the offense of what Jimmy was doing in that 5-game win that stretch. It wasn't as complex, and you could tell they're just kind of letting Jimmy play as best as he could, which I think benefited him. But when you started adding all the layers of what Kyle's offense is, I think that became more difficult to process. But we'll see, man. We'll see. And exactly, you can dumb it down for Trey, but that's kind of what I was talking about. Is you don't have to. I don't think you have to dumb it down for Trey, and that's the beauty of it all. Is that Trey is going to be coming in week 1 to take that job, and I think he's ready for it. Oh, QP's ready. QP's ready for Thursday night football in Nashie. I wish that game wasn't on the 23rd, QP. I'll be hitting you up quick. Let me crash. No, but that's going to be a fun game. I know that's where Kittle lives. That's where a lot of the homies live out there in Nashville. So we'll see. But I would imagine, Jimmy's going to put up a fight, man. Jimmy's going to put up a fight. Good looking QP. Let's go. So Jimmy's fighting, man. Jimmy's fighting. One of my favorite quotes from Jimmy, he said it a long time ago, but he said he loves being the underdog. He loves being the underdog. And can you talk about being a bigger underdog than what Jimmy is right now? I think If they give it, if it's a true opportunity, to compete in camp with Trey, I would have to imagine like Jimmy's going to rise to the occasion. I would have to imagine that. I would have to imagine he raises his level of competition. Just saying, man. Kittle out there working on his yak with you, QP. You getting the yak monster right, QP? I hope so. That boy's beard's looking nice too. Ginger beard gang. So we'll see. But that's gonna be the conversation for a while. It's gonna be the conversation for a while. So who's gonna be the starting quarterback? When are we gonna see Trey? And we knew this. We knew this all offseason. We knew this to be the case. If the 49ers were gonna draft a rookie quarterback at 3 and keep Jimmy, we knew that this was gonna be the conversation. Is who's going to be the quarterback? Who's going to play? When's Trey going to play? That's a lot of pressure. But you either fold to the pressure or you step up and you attack it. And I'd have to imagine Jimmy's going to attack it. And I have to imagine if like I said, if it's a true opportunity, and we're not talking the politics game, which I imagine will be in play, but if it was a true competition, I could see Jimmy coming out on top. Again, he's got the experience. All that stuff. Could see it happen. Do I like the rest of the draft class? I do. It definitely took some time to watch them a little bit more. Because at first I didn't watch a ton of them up close. But after I've had the time, of course, to do my Banks study, thrilled with Banks. I think he's going to be a difference maker. Really like the running backs that we got. Bo Sermon, and I'm super hyped on QP says, and this boy, QP's got the insight, man. He's training with these guys all off season. QP says, ain't no politics with Kyle. The best person will play. See, that's what I love. And that's what I want. That's what I want. That's what I love. Give that to me. Competition breeds excellence. And that's what it, and that speaks true to what Kyle has done by adding these pieces. He's added Ambry Thomas and Demo to the cornerback room. Great competition. He's added Trey Sermon and Elijah Mitchell. Mostert was chilling in the chat earlier. That's competition. They just got rid of Walters. Austin Walter today got waived. That competition at running back is going to be fierce. Absolutely fierce this offseason, because I think that's what it is. I think it's a true competition. Jeff Wilson, Mostert, Trey Sermon, Elijah Mitchell, JaMychal Hasty even. I think it's going to be a true competition. At quarterback, true competition. At right guard, true competition. You bring in Aaron Banks, there's no way that you can't not have that be a competition. So I'm hyped, man. I'm excited. I love competition, especially in practice, especially in camps and things like that. Because honestly, I feel like that's where you get better as a team. When you have solid competition, solid battles in practice, that's where like teams really come together and start to gel and like really start to vibe, and you start to get a good feel of like, all right, this is what we're about. We're a bunch of dogs. Like, we're a bunch of dogs. There's competition everywhere. Everyone has stepped their game up and went crazy for this competition. I rather have Banks or us take Asante Samuel? I would, and I'll preface this by saying I was not a big Asante Samuel guy at all. At all. I didn't want him. I didn't want him on the team. And if we would have taken him in the second, I would have been pretty disappointed. I would have been pretty disappointed if Asante Samuel was the pick. I don't think he's that good. I think a lot of it was name value. But just not a fan. And I'm glad we didn't have to go through that situation. I'm really glad that we didn't have to go through that situation where I'm like, I don't want this guy, and then we pick him, and I'm like, okay. And now he's on the team. Glad we didn't have to go through that. Honestly, just wasn't the biggest Asante Samuel guy. There are so many things that he put on tape that I just didn't vibe with. Didn't vibe with his effort, didn't vibe with his timing, didn't vibe with his reaction abilities, his awareness. I probably still got my notes over here somewhere. Yeah. A lot of people loved Asante, man. A lot of people loved Asante. I just didn't. And I tried to get Asante in too before all the crazy hype picked up on him towards the end of the year, because I knew he was a guy I needed to look at for cornerback in round 2. And so I studied him pretty tough. And I made sure to do an extensive study on him because of his name value. And I watched as many games as I could find, as many clips as I could find, everything I could find out there, and just watched it multiple times. Just, again, wasn't a huge fan. Wasn't a huge fan of the intangibles. He had traits. He had really good traits. Solid traits guy. Not a fan of the intangibles. Which to me is just as important as the traits. So I hope that they say we have a losing season. I hope so. I don't want people to hype us up. I want people to talk trash on us. I would love for people to talk trash on us. We don't need the fake love from the outside. Circle the wagons. Circle the wagons. Go get the 6. That's it. Circle the wagons. So, but I think I'm going to call it quits for the day. Shout out Raheem for dropping in the chat. Shout out Quentin Patton for dropping in the chat. Always make things a little bit more lively around here. Thank you guys for dropping in, looking at the schedule with me. Ooh, we'll save those. Those are good questions. Those are good questions, but we'll save those for another day. We have plenty of time to dive into all of the position groups and everything. Months to talk about it. I'm excited to get rookie mini camp going. I'm excited to see some of the highlights that come out of there. I think that's going to be a blast. So really excited to see what this team looks like. We see the schedule on paper. Schedule on paper looks good, looks solid. Raheem Mostert said that the week 6 bye was perfect. So, hey, if it's perfect with Raheem, it's perfect with me. So, I like that. And that's really good insight, honestly. Because that's something I've always wondered. Like, what do these players, really vibe off of the bye? Like, how do they view that? How do they view an early bye? And they were pretty vocal about not really liking the week 4 bye. But, he said he was chill with the week 6. Said it was perfect. All right, Raheem. I believe you. So, he said even we've got some good matchups. Haha. Love it. Sorry. You got some good comments in there. All right. Had to grab a couple receipts, but all right. Now we out though. Appreciate you all. We'll be back. We'll be talking plenty of Niner football all off season. Appreciate you guys.